Have you suffered from hair loss and want to get your hair back? Well, you're in the right place. Today, I'm going to share with you my step by step plan that I've been following for the last couple of months that has already improved my hair. Throughout this video, I'll show you some photos of what it was and how bad it had gotten. And of course, you can see what it looks like now. This plan is one that I developed myself. My dermatologist called it the Rolls Royce of hair restoration. Let me tell you a little bit about my hair loss journey. Like I said, it's probably been about 20 years since my hair loss first started, and I've tried a little bit of everything. Initially, I was listening to my dermatologist and just doing whatever they said do, but those things just didn't work. About 12 years ago, I thought, oh, this is going to work because my dermatologist took what I thought was an aggressive approach and decided that she wanted to do steroid injections after she diagnosed and determined that I had androgenetic alopecia. Androgenetic alopecia is the most common form of male and female hair loss. They also biopsied my scalp because they wanted to see if I had scarring alopecia, which I did not. With the diagnosis of the androgenetic alopecia, they decided to do the steroid shots, which we did once a month for 6 months. And each time you go in, they do about 100 injections. It was awful. I would have been okay suffering through it if I saw some results, but the fact that I have to go in once a month and get a needle put into my scalp 100 times and come out with no benefit, oh no, I was not happy. After that didn't work, years went by, and of course I felt hopeless. So my hair continued to fall out, and I just came up with some tricks to try and camouflage the areas that my hair was thinning in. But it got to a point where my hair was thinning so bad that those tricks did not work anymore. And when I felt the need to sometimes put on a hat because my hair thinning was showing so badly, I thought, I have got to do something. I decided to take matters into my own hands. I went on the hunt of my life to research hair loss from the very best folks out there. And so I came up with my own plan. So at this point, I'm with a new healthcare provider, and it's about 12 years after the steroid injections. So I sent my primary care physician photos of my hair loss. At this point, I had lost about 40% of my hair in the top of my head. It was devastating. So she immediately referred me to a dermatologist, and I'm thinking, oh, it's 12 years later, it's a new dermatologist. Surely they have a plan. Something's gonna work. I was so sure of it. But just in case, I went in armed with the information that I had learned. So when I went into this dermatologist, literally within 2 minutes of being in her office, she prescribed me 2 things. She said, I want to give you a hair loss medication. And based on my research, I knew exactly what she wanted to give me. So I decided to take my power back and do something about it. I spent countless hours researching hair loss and hair restoration. I had to figure this out. Once I learned that this is a lifelong issue and it never goes away and it only gets worse, and I was proof that that was true, I just wasn't going to give up. When I went to the dermatologist this time, she too confirmed that I had androgenetic alopecia and also confirmed with another biopsy that I did not have scarring alopecia. So I was rather relieved to have that news, right? Androgenetic alopecia is triggered when your hormone testosterone converts into a molecule called dihydrotestosterone, which is also known as DHT. DHT will cause the hair follicle to shrink and will cause severe hair shedding, which were both my issues. Luckily, when the dermatologist looked at my scalp, she could see that I still had the little baby hair follicles. So we knew that there was a possibility that I could get them back, get my hair back. So when most people have androgenetic alopecia. It's often that men will be prescribed finasteride as well as minoxidil, and women will be prescribed dutasteride. And in this case, this doctor offered me oral minoxidil. All I knew was that I was not willing to take a medication for the rest of my life. And so I immediately rejected that dermatologist plan. And then I proceeded to tell her what I wanted to do based on my research. So today, that's what I'm going to share with you. There are 6 things that I've been doing that has shown me great results in just 2 months. Now, they say whenever you start a hair restoration journey, you should know that it usually takes within 3 to 6 months before you see any change. So when I started seeing change after 2 months, I was really excited. Like, I started getting these little hairs come up around here, and I was like, oh my God. Let me just tell you what my plan is and what has been working for me. So, this is what I told my dermatologist. I laid it out again based on this extensive research I had done. So, first, I told her I wanted to do PRP injections. She told me that my healthcare provider did not provide PRP injections. I would have to pay for that out of pocket. And PRP, which is platelet rich plasma, is very expensive. So I had to figure out where I could have that done. In addition to PRP, and I'll do another video on PRP just to explain that to you and the costs and all that. But in addition to PRP, I wanted to do red light therapy. I am fascinated with Brian Johnson, who is spending $2 million of his own money every year to reverse aging. So I looked at his plan. I looked at tons of YouTube videos. I read everything I could get my hands on about hair restoration. Brian was doing the red light therapy. He's also taking finasteride, but I didn't want to do that. But Brian was doing the red light therapy. So I researched red light therapy and I came up with iRestore, which is an FDA approved red light therapy for hair loss. And it's a helmet that you put on your head 3 days a week and you wear it for 25 minutes, but you can walk around and do other things while it's on your head. There's no pain associated with it. It's easy breezy. So in addition to the PRP and the red light therapy, I also found out the benefits of consistently massaging your scalp. So some people do it with their fingers, which like a lot of people were doing it for like 45 minutes a day. And I was like, that's too long. My fingers are going to like cramp up. I didn't want to do that. But I did see the benefit of massaging your scalp. So what I decided to do was I went on Amazon and I looked for a scalp massager and I found one. When I got it, after a few uses, I noticed that it was breaking off my hair in areas. So I saw these little 1-inch hairs and I was like, oh, well, that's not going to work. But I loved the feeling and the effect of what I thought the hair massager could do, that I needed to figure out how I could continue using it. So what I did was I put a scarf on my head before. Now, I didn't use a cotton scarf because that would dry your hair out. But I used like a satin scarf and I put it on my head and then I did the massager on top of my head. So after, in addition to PRP, I'll also do a separate video on that massager because I really want you to see it and see how that works. So look out for that video as well. So those are the 3 big things that I did. I did the PRP, the iRestore red light therapy helmet, and I did the massager. In addition to that, there were a few other things that I also did. Now, what I learned in this research is that whenever you have a hair loss issue, it's a multifaceted approach that you have to take to solve the problem. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to do red light therapy. I mean, you could, and you might get some benefit, but if you really want to like get in and get dirty with it, like I did, you're going to have a multi-level approach. So, and again, this just depends on what is causing your hair issues, which of course, always the first step is to go talk to your dermatologist, because I'm certainly not a doctor. And I cannot advise you on that, but I'm just sharing with you what I did. So, and all of my research pointed to the fact that you do have to do multiple things to kind of combat this from all directions. So the PRP, the eye restore red light therapy helmet, and the massager were the biggest parts of my plan. But in addition to that, I also had my dermatologist prescribe a shampoo to me because the shampoo was known to be 10 times more effective than some shampoos with other active ingredients that is on the market. This shampoo has an active ingredient called ketoconazole, and the ketoconazole from the prescription is 2%. You can also buy it over the counter with 1%, and that product is called Nizoral. So since I'm at the dermatologist, I just thought I'm going to get a prescription, and I have been using that once a week on my scalp. So in addition to those things, I also decided I needed to do something to block the DHT. And there's been a lot of research showing that the supplement saw palmetto is good for blocking DHT, is proven to help stimulate hair growth, and it prevents hair loss. So I started taking that. It's over the counter, it's cheap, it's a natural supplement. So instead of taking the lifelong finasteride and the oral minoxidil, I take saw palmetto. And last but not least, the other thing I did was to begin rosemary oil on my scalp. So the day before I'm going to shampoo my hair, that night before, I will put the rosemary oil on my scalp, a tiny bit directly on my scalp. I do it once a week, and I massage it into the scalp with the massager because I really want to make sure it gets down in there in the scalp. And so the next day when I wash my hair, then I use this ketoconazole shampoo. And that's basically my 6-step process to reverse my hair loss. And I'm so excited about what it's done in 2 months. I cannot wait to see what happens in 4 months. Stay tuned. I'll keep you posted on my hair growth journey. But as I said earlier, I'm certainly not a dermatologist, so I cannot recommend anything to you, but I'm just sharing my journey because I know how frustrating it is. I was getting depressed because I was losing so much hair. And so if I can help anyone out there, that is the purpose of doing this video. This is my very first YouTube video because if there's nothing else that I know, my passion, like I am an avid learner. I love, love, love to learn. So I will research something to death until I come up with a solution that's going to work. And I'm also very passionate about sharing that information with others. And so all my life, I've always, like, as soon as I find something good, I want to call a friend or call a family member and tell them about this new thing or about this thing that works so great that I didn't know about before, in hopes of helping them as well. So my purpose for being on this platform is to help others solve some everyday issues that we all have. So I want to thank you for sticking around. And of course, not only would I really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed to this channel, but I'd love to hear some comments from you on things you might want to hear or see. I'm very passionate about anti-aging stuff, so a lot of my channel will definitely be addressing anti-aging things. Thank you so much for joining me, and please continue to watch my videos. Until then, live fully.